Protect your car with 3W Liners all-weather floor mats. Made from durable materials like TPE and rubber, our mats are designed to withstand rain, snow, and mud with deep grooves to trap dirt and liquids. For a custom fit and advanced protection, visit 3W Liners. That's the number 3, WLINERS.com today. At Acasis, innovation drives us. Since 2008, we've been creating cutting-edge technology products that make your life easier. With a focus on performance, design, and customer service, we're here to help you work smarter, not harder. Join us on our journey to simplify your world. Visit acasis.com today. That's ACASIS.com today.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com. Unlock a world of convenience with Mully Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. From gourmet snacks to unique finds, each box is tailored to your tastes. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. We are Rogue Media Sports.
Yes, sir. We have made it. It's Friday. It's the Cam Show. It's Rogue Media Sports Network. I'm Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeping us on the air. We are live as we are every weekday, live on YouTube, high noon Eastern time, and then wherever you get your podcasts after that. I think I have a hunch we're going to talk some Boston sports today. And specifically, I want to hone in on the Patriots draft, as will be really a point of discussion over the next month and a half, and why they might just luck out. Try as they might, they really might have lucked out when it comes to this 2025 NFL draft. We'll also take a look at some of the other positional needs the Patriots have. It sounds like they might be out on T. Higgins, or maybe T. Higgins is out on them. We'll discuss that. Plus, everyone in baseball seems to have a consensus on who the best prospect is and who has the best prospects. But you can't sneak one past Tony Maz. He's going to tell you why the number one prospect in baseball is already a bust and why we should give up, and he'll just be a bust DH for whatever MLB career he has. I think it's worth a listen. We're going to go over that as well. It's all coming up on this episode of The Cam Show, Friday edition, which means there will be some bullshit towards the end of the show. I have to imagine that Zach and I will get cooking. No actors that I know of died today, so we can't talk about that. Although, real quick, I was pretty sure it was carbon monoxide after the initial reports yesterday. Some additional reporting in this crime scene of Gene Hackman and his wife and his dog, of bloated bodies and pills around the wife, and maybe it's not as clear cut as we thought. That's something we'll have to keep an eye on. Trust me, don't listen to what Dateline has to say. Don't listen to local news or any kind of reports. If you want to know what happened to Gene Hackman and his wife and his dog, I would recommend checking in on the Cam Show 5 days a week, high noon Eastern time, live on YouTube, and then wherever you get your podcast. Because I don't know where you're going to get any better information than that. Zach and Cam on the case, our own 48 hours. We're efforting to get our lady Claire Saint Amant on this case. Former investigative journalist, nighttime producer, wrote a book, Killer Story, part of the Rogue Media family, starting her own podcast as well. So we're going to have to get her on the case as well. We'll do some digging into this Gene Hackman crime scene. And you'll see the commercial for her podcast, which I'm forgetting the name of as it comes to my mind. But Killer Story is the book. Go check that out. Anyway, wow, what a lead into this to this Friday show of the Cam Show. As we do have to talk Patriots. Of course, that is the natural transition from Gene Hackman's death. We have to talk about the New England Patriots and their draft strategy. Really, the only two things that matter right now, like Gene Hackman's death, tax season, who the Patriots are going to draft. Something along those lines. And if you're Canadian, you still got to worry about the annex thing, which will not happen. But anyway, the Patriots already sullied their own draft after the last week of the season. And it feels like I'm the only one who's still upset about it. I go to bed every night just motherfucking these guys for winning that last game and having the number 4 pick instead of the number 1, instead of having your pick at Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter. A lot of the signs have pointed to they're not going to have both, or they're not going to have the option for both. They're both going to be off the board is what I'm trying to say there. But recent report says that might not be the case. In fact, Abdul Carter is not doing any workouts because of a hairline fracture in his foot, which, do you use the number 1 pick on a guy with a fracture in his foot? I don't know. And now there's some belief that the Giants might be going after a quarterback as well in the top 4, which led Phil Perry, who covers the Patriots day in, day out. He's actually at the Combine, and one of my favorite Patriot reporters. No shtick with him. He just reports on the team. And he had this to say about the possibility of Travis Hunter and or Abdul Carter actually getting to number 4 in the draft when the Patriots are selecting.
I would say first, the quarterbacks, I just start there because from a Patriots perspective, it's important that 2 of them go inside the top 3 so you can have a decent shot at one of these blue chip guys. And I think there is a real chance that happens. That's something that, I've heard all week here, is that even though it's not the strongest quarterback class, I don't think it would surprise many people if both Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders go somewhere in the top 3. And so that then for the Patriots, if that does actually happen, would mean you got a shot at either Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter.
Now this gets real interesting. And again, frustrating because the Patriots had their destiny in their hands week 18. All they need to do is lose and they're the number 1 pick in the draft. Instead, they win. And now their number 4 overall pick and who they're going to get there really hinges upon what the New York Giants do. That's what a big part of their offseason depends on right now. And it's the nature of the beast. But again, you talk about a team that had the number 1 pick in their hands going into the last week of the season, have well over $100 million in cap space, and their offseason is coming down to what other teams do. We'll talk about the Bengals later on in the show. But right now, the Giants eyeing Matthew Stafford, if they go out and sign or acquire Matthew Stafford, then Patriots are up a creek without a paddle again. Because then they're just going to go and pick Travis Hunter at number 3. So it sucks that that's what it comes to. But if they don't get to attract somebody like a Stafford, then all of a sudden that real possibility is back, that they are going to be desperate, that even though this is not a great quarterback draft and that Shedeur Sanders is not at the combine and athleticism and all that doesn't really pop off the page for Shedeur Sanders. In fact, I really liked him as a college quarterback, but there's probably more bad than good when it comes to the pro scouting for him. And maybe they go ahead and reach and get him in the top 5, top 3. Then you would be extremely lucky to have Travis Hunter fall into your lap. But now there is that possibility. And that wasn't just Phil. Phil had said about it earlier in that he was on a pod with Tom Curran. Tom Curran's Patriots Talk podcast is where that comes from. He was talking about earlier in that show that, there's just more muddy waters around those top 4 picks. And it's not as clear as some people might think. A lot of NFL executives are wondering if the Giants are going to go quarterback and where Travis Hunter could fall to. Teams wondering if they should trade with the Patriots in the event that they can have a chance at Travis Hunter. Obviously, that would take a king's ransom because I think the Patriots really want Travis Hunter. It seems obvious to us, but we've seen the Patriots pass up on what looked to be slam dunks before. A lot of people thought they were going to get J.J. Watt in 2011. Instead, they got Nate Solder. Now, that ended up being a good pick. It was your left tackle for a couple Super Bowl teams. But J.J. Watt's a Hall of Famer. So, it's not always that easy with this organization or with any organization, really. But they have met with Travis Hunter, and they seem to love him. In fact, Karen Guregian of Mass Live is also reporting that the Patriots see Hunter as a wide receiver 1 and a cornerback 1. Not an or, an and. And at that case, you can't let this guy go by just because you need help on the offensive line. The more this season went on and the more it was, very obvious that the Patriots were going to be picking in the top 2 or 3, which weirdly they turned out to be 4, the more you got to this roster sucks all the way around. And yeah, the biggest need is offensive line, but you can't afford to have that kind of thinking if Travis Hunter is available for you. That's where you rip up the packets that you've put together the last couple months and say, nope, don't overthink this. Travis Hunter is going to be a game breaker in this league. And he is, man. He's getting cornerback 1 kind of projections as a wide receiver. The popular comp going around right now is Devontae Smith. If you're the Patriots and you have a Devontae Smith right there, even in the top 5, even being a wide receiver, and you have the chance, you have the real thought that he's going to be Devontae Smith, I would just draft that guy. Let alone a guy who's Devontae Smith and potentially a Christian Gonzalez. That's a massive opportunity. That's a generational opportunity. And the fact that he could fall to 4 is mind-numbing to me, to be totally honest with you. I thought they lost Travis Hunter when they beat Buffalo in Week 18. But it's to the point now where you can do all the draft strategy that you want and the positions that you're looking at and wanting to get better in the trenches and this, that, and the other. There's one guy in the draft that can help you at two different positions. And when you are a team that needs to improve on every position group but one on your entire team, then you can't pass that up. You can't. And he's not going to be, he's not going to be Jamar Chase on offense and I guess Christian Gonzalez on defense. He's not going to play every single down. But just the fact that you can bring him in, every other down on offense, maybe play some nickel corner so there's packages where he's not in there on defense just to give him a rest. Like, that is an invaluable commodity. Like, that just doesn't come around. And I think, looking at this from a different perspective, if the Giants decided to pass on Travis Hunter to take a reach at quarterback, I think Giants fans would be like pissing their pants, like holding a riot outside the stadium. Like, that's where you just can't overthink it. The Patriots, I think, no matter who is up on the board, should just take the best player available. I really do. Just because, outside of quarterback, which there's no other quarterback that's going to be projected top 5, you need to fix every position. Every single one. So, yeah, I also definitely understand why a lot of experts are still saying tackle, because we just watched one of the worst offensive lines in the history of football. I get that. But they also weren't very good in pass coverage. They also couldn't put together a pass rush. They also don't have a lot of youth at the linebacker position. They also don't have any weapons for Drake May to throw to. So it's like, yeah, you can't just limit it to that one position or position group. It does seem like the most slam dunk, the most rational to go out and fix. But if you have Travis Hunter there at 4, there is no doubt. I mean, no doubt that you go after that kid. And if he does fall into their lap at 4, honestly, I'm thinking about a Patriots dynasty again. Not just because of the player, because I do think he's going to be a great player. But I'm thinking dynasty because I will have then thought they got really fucking lucky to get him. The way the Bulls got insanely lucky that with the number 3 pick in the draft in 84, they drafted the greatest player ever. Sometimes you just get lucky. The Patriots know all about that in the draft. And maybe we'll look back in years from now and say, man, they were pretty lucky to get Drake May at 3. He was the best quarterback in that class. Jaden Daniels obviously had a better rookie season. But who knows, man? Who knows? Maybe he just becomes a Jag and Caleb Williams is a Jag and Drake May's an all-pro. Sometimes that happens. But yeah, if they're lucky enough to have Travis Hunter fall to them, start planning parades again. Because that kind of luck only turns into championships. Like, in a way, the Chiefs were lucky to get Mahomes at 10. Looking back at it, right? They traded up to get there. But lucky in the sense that obviously you should have drafted Patrick Mahomes over Mitch Trubisky. Like, that's such an easy one to say now. But anyway. Also, Abdul Carter. That's maybe the more realistic one as he now battles an injury. Like, do you want to spend a number 1 overall pick on a guy who's injured, who didn't do any of the workouts, none of the measurables for you? Like, the tape is fantastic, and I think there's plenty of or a good school of thought to say, well, you're not gonna, if you thought he was the best player in the draft, you probably shouldn't about face on that just because of a short-term injury. But these things do happen. And if the Patriots are lucky enough to get Travis Hunter, oh boy, look out. So long as Dion approves that Travis can play there. Shador in New York, Travis Hunter in Foxborough. It's not that far away, Dion. I think you should allow that to happen. But boy, would that be lucky. Boy, would that be lucky. So maybe Tom Brady does do one more solid for the Patriots. Maybe he is tampering with Matthew Stafford in Montana, was it? The ski resort? Yeah. Get him to go and play for Vegas. Although that doesn't help the Patriots because they're also picking in the top 4. So I don't know. The Raiders could pick someone else and really fuck it up. But yeah, you would need neither of those teams to go out and get a quarterback in free agency. And to be fair, there's not Matthew Stafford could be a Hall of Famer. There's no guarantee that he's even going to leave the Rams. He might. I don't even want to say probably. He might. And in that case, it throws a wrench in your plans, and you're definitely not going to get one of those two guys. You're going to have to go beyond that, go deeper down the depth chart, deeper down the mock draft, and see. That's where it becomes fascinating. And right now, that's where we're at number 4. It's like, if not Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, which seems like it's probably still not going to be those guys, where do the Patriots go? You can get another versatile, not as versatile as Abdul Carter, but another versatile defensive line prospect in Mason Graham. And the experts are really loving Mason Graham. And, maybe that does really, maybe that does make your team better to have Mason Graham and Keon White on that defensive line. And maybe, just maybe, you can have a pass rush and stop the run a little bit because they're allowing Devon Godshaw to go and talk to whomever he wants. So, again, not a hot take, but if Travis Hunter falls to you at 4, don't overthink this. Don't be like, oh, well, we really need help on the offensive line. You do, but come on. Like, that's, yeah. And by the way, the Patriots loved him. Patriots loved him in their interviews. That's what everyone's reporting now. And Ted McMillan is plunging down in this draft, probably from the Cam Show report of last week of saying, hey, it sounds a lot like N'Keal Harry. Now there are literally reports this week of NFL experts comparing him to just a better version of N'Keal Harry, a slightly better version of N'Keal Harry. I'm like, bro, that's must credit Cam Show. Cam Show said that. No one was comparing. People were thinking that the Patriots are going to draft him in the top 5, and now he's being compared to N'Keal Harry. Who started that? That was me. Shit. A couple dozen of you watched it too. Okay? Couple dozen. I was the first one to give that comparison, and now all of a sudden Ted McMillan is falling down the draft boards. Look, the power that I wield is unfathomable to the rest of the National Football League and the sports talking world. Speaking of the Patriots, speaking of the NFL, are they out on T. Higgins, or is T. Higgins out on them? Let's go over that next on the Cam Show.
Are you ready to take control of your health? At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. Say goodbye to long waits and office visits. Check your health on your own terms with 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today and free yourself from traditional medicine. That's the number 4uhealth.com. Get ready for epic savings at Best Buy. Right now, you can save up to $700 on select Alienware and Dell gaming products. Perfect for leveling up your gaming experience. Plus, grab the latest Android Google Pixel at an unbeatable price. Don't miss these incredible deals. Shop now at bestbuy.com and upgrade your tech today. At Fullwell, we bring together the expertise of registered dietitians, MDs, and OBGYNs to give you the best fertility support. Our research-backed bioavailable formulas are crafted with your health in mind, ensuring the highest quality and safety. From preconception to pregnancy and beyond, we exceed industry standards with independent testing for harmful contaminants. With our comprehensive practitioner directory, personalized care is always within reach. Fullwell, your trusted partner on your fertility journey. Visit us at fullwellfertility.com. Experience the perfect blend of exquisite craftsmanship and life-changing technology with Gevi.
Every product is built with precision, featuring specialized parts that ensure durability, efficiency, and safety. We put every machine through 6,000 rigorous tests to guarantee long-lasting performance. With cutting-edge technology and a commitment to energy efficiency, Gevi makes your life easier, greener, and more convenient. Upgrade your everyday with Gevi. Visit us at gevi.com to discover more. That's gevi.com.
Have you ever watched true crime television and wondered, how did they get that story?
I can show you. I was a producer for 48 Hours on CBS News.
In my exclusive tell-all book, I'll take you where no audience has ever gone before. Don't miss out. Secure your copy of Killer Story, The Truth Behind True Crime Television today. Available everywhere books are sold.
With San, owning iconic furniture no longer requires paying a premium. We use the finest materials like Italian top-grain leather, known for its durability and luxurious feel, and apply meticulous attention to detail in every piece we create. Our replicas are crafted with the same care and precision as the originals, but a price that makes them accessible. With over 15,000 satisfied customers worldwide, we've proven that high-quality furniture doesn't have to come with a high price tag. Explore our collection today at san.com.
At Covers & All, we've revolutionized protective solutions with cutting-edge, customizable covers, tarps, and curtains. Using advanced tech fabrics that are 100% waterproof, UV tear, and abrasion resistant, we ensure lasting durability with hand-sewn double-stitch seams. Our commitment to quality, precision engineering, and customizable options is unmatched. With vertically integrated operations and express shipping, we deliver premier protection at affordable prices. Visit coversandall.com today for the perfect fit, guaranteed to last.
We haven't been looking for you. Wake up.
Hellhound Country, available anywhere you get your podcasts. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com.
Oh, welcome back. We're here on the Cam Show. It is Friday. I've sounded like the most basic bitch ever all week. Just being like, I could have sworn it was Friday, but it's actually Thursday. Like, I fucking hate when people do that. And yet that's been me this week. It has been. That and people who constantly, just fucking constantly complain about the weather. Like, that to me, like, that fucking pisses me off so much. And I've dealt with it my whole life. And there is a fine line in this. So when I lived in Texas for so long, like, I would get bitchy when it would be the end of October or early November and it would be 90 degrees. Because that would happen a couple days and then it would kind of be nice again. Like that, you can be pissed off for a day. But like in school, growing up in Massachusetts, and people go outside in January, they'd be like, "Oh my God, it's so cold." I'm like, no fucking shit, man. It's literally the coldest month of the year. You dipshit. What'd you think it was going to be 65 and sunny when you walked out in Rockland, Massachusetts on January 13th? You fucking idiot. And it happens all the time, man. And here in Chicago, it's very cold. Like, it's very, very cold. And it's like, man, that's just what it is. Like, that's, say la vie, say the old folks, you know? And the other one is like the times where I move around. Like, I've moved around the last couple of years. I'm going to move around again. And people will be like, "Oh, why would you want to go there? It's so cold." I'm like, yeah. It's also like the third biggest city in the US and people love it there. Or like, also, I don't know, it's where I'm from for the next stop. And they'll just be like, I just don't get how you do it. So cold. I'm like, the same way you handle Texas in the summer. You don't go outside. I don't live my fucking life outside when it's January. Okay? It sucks, but that's what it is. It's like, I don't know, some days I would rather have it be 15 degrees and be bundled up to shit while I walk the dog instead of it being 110 and we can't walk more than 5 minutes because our fucking paws will burn off on the goddamn pavement. Anyway. That was not what this segment's about. I just needed to get it off my chest. I'm just, maybe it's me being a curmudgeon, or maybe it's the exact opposite, but I'm just sick and goddamn tired of people talking about the weather like it's an interesting subject. Like, the Hurricane Katrina is not going on. We don't need to spend 5 minutes talking about the goddamn weather. It happens, bro. It's February. It's cold. Guess what? Most of March, it's going to be cold. And then, believe it or not, in May, it's going to be pretty nice. June, nicer. July, you might even go to the beach. What? And then end of October, it's going to start to get cold again. Like, fuck. It's literally the most predictable thing of all time. Why does that become a talking point? When can we get back to what Oasis said? Nobody ever mentions the weather to make or break your day. Zach, do you have any thoughts on this? I'm delaying putting on this next Patriots segment because this is a bug up my ass right now. I don't know why, but I'm just sick of people who just talk about the weather all the time. You know?
Yeah, I've noticed that this is maybe I haven't run into it enough to where like it's something that maybe that's it. Maybe I don't.
It does. I will say it does happen more with the cold than with the heat.
Oh, for sure. Okay, I do get that now. Okay. I get tired of, I have, I guess, a caveat to it, and I understand a bit. I'm a very warm-natured person. So, and you've seen this, even when it is cold outside, I will still wear shorts. Like, the only time I've worn pants this year is when it was like 18 degrees outside earlier.
I thought it was going to be like to a funeral.
Yeah, well, that too. No, I will, if I have to go to a classy establishment, I'll wear pants.
Thank you, Lieutenant Dangle.
But the thing that gets me still, and it's kind of along those lines, is people that know this about me, and they'll still be like, oh, you're wearing shorts, but it's cold outside. Yeah, I know what it's like outside. Like, this is how I chose. So I get it to a point of where, like, yeah, I know what it's like outside. You don't have to constantly remind me. But at the same time, like, what good does complaining about it do?
Well, that too.
Like,
but I can't believe that there are middle-aged people on my Facebook feed who live in Massachusetts and are talking about, like, I can't believe how cold it was today, or they share like a meme of how cold it was. It's like, dude.
And they've lived there probably their entire life.
You know
days that are even colder. Yeah.
Yes.
It's kind of like it's
like waking up at 6 a.m. every day and being like, oh, it's so early. Yeah, it's the same every day.
or walking in somewhere between the months of May and September, anywhere here in Texas, and somebody is bound to say, like, it's hot outside. Yeah.
You think? It's like, you know what, it actually is a great comparison to it? When I was in high school, I worked at a Domino's, and I would come home, and my mom would, every time, she'd be like, you smell like a pizza. Yeah, I just fucking made them for 7 hours straight. Like, yes, that's exactly what I smell like, you know? And that's what it's like. That's what it's like to step outside on February 6th and be like, fuck, it's cold. Yeah, it is.
Well, you talked about the other day, it's been a couple weeks now, about having to walk like out in the snow to, what was it, the Blackhawks game you went to? Like,
yeah.
That's going to be like living there in Chicago. Like, yeah, that's going to be days that are like that.
I think man.
Just accept it. Just like living here, where it likes to, be able to fry eggs out on the street. You know that when you go outside, it's going to be blistering hot.
The only real complaint I had in my 10 years in Texas about the heat wasn't even about the heat. It was when I first got to Baylor. I was so thrown off that whenever I would go into a class or a building of any kind, it was so air conditioned that I would bring like a light sweatshirt to class because I would get so cold inside. That was the only thing. Yeah. And it was like a 2-day thing where I was like, damn, man, it's so cold in this room. I mean, it has to be, right? It's relieving as hell. But then I started, like, at day 3 of my freshman year, just started bringing a pullover sweatshirt if I needed it. That was it. And now I'm this great guy because I don't fucking complain.
Adjusted, like all great players, you found the flaw in your game and you fixed it.
Like the great little league pitcher that I was, I had to keep my arm warm. Pitcher goes back to the dugout even in the summer, puts on a jacket. Yeah. I used to do that in Little League, by the way.
You'd put a jacket on?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. It did help that, Little League ended like the second week in May in Massachusetts. So it was still chilly sometimes.
See,
But yeah, I would have I would have a hoodie and do that, what you just did, like just put the right arm in between it.
yeah. So you'd be ready. You never know when you're going to be called upon.
I
would do the same thing in a way, but we might have talked about this. Griffey was my guy. So in Little League, I would try to, even though I'm right-handed, I would try to bat from the left side of the plate. And the coach would be like, you can't do that. Like, cause I couldn't. And he'd like, go back to the right. Or
you're trying to raise your value, really.
Exactly. Or I would do like I had the flip up sunglasses in the outfield. So I'd sit there while I was waiting, and then, all right, got plate, you flip them down, you get ready. And I dove at balls that did not need to be dove at. But I mean,
this is kind of an interesting segue, because I have a friend who I grew up with. He's like my best friend growing up.
Yeah.
And his dad was he was like always a coach, specifically baseball.
Mhm.
And he was like kind of intense. He was definitely not like a trophy kid dad or anything like that, but he was kind of intense. And the kid's older brother was kind of pudgy kid. And so the dad, who was his coach, put him at first base, got him a first baseman's mitt, because he's like, you have the body of a first baseman. As like a 9-year-old, got him a first baseman's mitt, and tried to make him into a switch hitter as a little leaguer. So he would be more valuable. Like he would stay on teams, be more valuable.
Yeah.
And by high school, he was in theater. Like he was not playing baseball. And the younger brother, was my friend, was a pretty good baseball player. But it was so fun. He was also kind of pudgy. They made him a catcher, and he was really good at it. So it worked out. But it was just so funny, man. Like this 10, 11-year-old, you're trying to make him switch hit.
It's like when we went to the
as if the Rockland High baseball team was like, I get this good slugger at first base, but I like the versatility that this kid gives us as a switch hitter.
It's like when we went to the cover of the Super Bowl one year, and we had Bill Romanowski on, and Q asked him like, hey, like, my kid's like working on playing football. What do you think? And he's like, man, you got to get him on some deer antler extract, and you got to get, the fish oil. And you're like, this is a 12-year-old kid, Bill. Like, come on, man.
That does not surprise me in the least, by the way, from Bill Romanowski, BC legend. I do have to talk to Patriots. Sorry, Zach. I appreciate you indulging me on the weather talk. I'm just so fucking sick of people making and like the people that make their moving decisions based on the weather. Like, I kind of get that. My mom moved to Texas because I was there, but also because she was like, I'm done shoveling snow. I'm an old lady. But like, I'm 27, man. I don't make the decisions based off the weather. Anyway, fuck. The Patriots. So going into this Patriots offseason, it was pretty obvious who their top target was going to be. It was the name on people's lips, really, after they lost out on Calvin Ridley, and that was T. Higgins. Well, certain reports coming out the last few days have certainly not helped in terms of T. Higgins becoming a New England Patriot in 2025. So first, it was reported that the Bengals are almost certainly going to franchise tag him, which will come on Tuesday, right? Or Wednesday, March 4th, Tuesday, is when the franchise tags will go out. The Bengals have already said that that's what they're going to do if they don't agree to a long-term contract with T. Higgins, which, of course, they are not going to agree with to a long-term contract with T. Higgins, no matter what kind of napkin math Joe Burrow does for them. It's probably not going to happen. And the franchise tag probably gets the Patriots out of the sweepstakes, mainly because they don't have a ton of trade assets. They're willing to go and spend the money. We heard the projected offer for Brandon Ayuk. We know they were in for Calvin Ridley right till the last second, and Calvin Ridley picked a worse team. Picked a team that is picking number 1 in the draft, not the team that's picking number 4. But anyway, T. Higgins, now apparently that's not going to happen, because Chad Graff of The Athletic is reporting that the deal is not going to happen because of different priorities for the New England Patriots. New England's blueprint for the offseason does not include pursuing Higgins, Graff wrote. As the Patriots are reshaped in Mike Vrabel's likeness, they want to prioritize building through the offensive and defensive lines, and will make that goal number 1 of the offseason. So expect their biggest free agent signings to come in the trenches, not at wide receiver. Going off that, Elliott Wolf also had something to say about it. The game is always won on the lines, offensive line, defensive line. not just because of the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl, but it has always been that way. And Chad Graff, I should go back to what he said at the beginning of that story. New England's blueprint for the offseason does not include pursuing Higgins, the number one free agent to be on our top 150 big board, according to The Athletic. So the Patriots are out on T. Higgins. Is that a deceptive headline, though? Because could it actually be that T. Higgins is out on the Patriots? Because let's be honest, guys. If the Patriots had been alerted to the fact that T. Higgins was interested in signing there, or wanting to play there, I should say, then this report would have never have come out. The Patriots probably would have tried to make something happen, right? And T. Higgins would have looked more and more disgruntled with the Bengals, but he probably just doesn't want to come here. He wants out of Cincinnati. He wants the money, and if the Patriots offered him $30 million, maybe he would. But let's not kid ourselves here. This Chad Graff report from The Athletic is not coming out if T. Higgins has real interest in the Patriots and is telling his agent, I want to play there. So we can put lipstick on the pig and say, oh, the Patriots are out. They're looking offensive, defensive line because it's an easy sell. It's actually very John Henry Red Sox tactic here, right? Like to compare it to what the Red Sox did in the offseason. They said they were going to get 2 of the top 3 free agent starting pitchers. They didn't, but they went out and made a trade for one of the best available pitchers in Garrett Crochet. And so at the end of the day, John Henry can say, well, we needed starting pitching. We went out and got starting pitching. That was their biggest weakness last year. No matter how they got to it, they got to it. And Mike Vrabel and the Patriots could say, after missing out on T. Higgins, the number one free agent on the top 150 board from The Athletic, they can say, well, what do you want from us? We had the worst offensive line in history last year, and we went out and we prioritized offensive and defensive line instead. What do you want? And at the end of the day, Patriots fans, just like Red Sox fans have to do, are like, well, it's got a point. Those suck too. Every position group of quarterbacks sucked for the Patriots, so it's easy to kind of hit on something else and just be like, well, that was a big priority. You saw how much we sucked last year. So in the end, it's almost foolproof, right? But certainly that is coming out from the Patriots organization saying, well, look, we got to attack the trenches. Games are won in the trenches. Look what the Eagles just did. And there's a point to it. So it kind of masks the disappointment of not being in on the number one wide receiver target when you've really struggled at that position for a long time now. A long time. You have not had an all-pro outside receiver in 15 years. Randy Moss. It's been a long time. I mean, we're talking like Randy Moss 07, so 17 or 18 years ago. Was he the last all-pro outside receiver that you had? You've had some good slot receivers since then. You've had great tight ends since then. But you have not had an eye for talent at that position in a long, long time. A generation here. Okay? The last time they had that all-pro outside receiver, I was in 5th grade. And now I'm doing this fucking show 5 days a week. And paying taxes. Okay? It's been a long time since that happened. And it does suck, but certainly the writing was on the wall recently that T. Higgins might be a pipe dream. And now, we kind of talk about the draft and what they're missing out on by picking number 4 in the draft. I'm not on coke, by the way. My nose is just really itchy. I look like the fucking Kleenex commercials now with how red my nose is. But we talk about the draft, what they miss out on by not picking number 1. Now you essentially miss the number 1 pick of free agent wide receivers. And now what do you got? Now you are looking at Stephon Diggs, Amari Cooper, a trade for DK Metcalf. I don't know. DK Metcalf's a really talented player, but I just don't see that as the right move. And all of a sudden, what do you do now? Do you turn to Jalen Polk again? Because Jalen Polk's name has also been in the news. Remember him? 2nd round pick, first pick in the 2nd round. Was supposed to be this game-changing wide receiver. Everyone loved his maturity And instead he caught 10 passes all year, 1 touchdown, 2 touchdowns. Had caught like 30% of the balls that were thrown to him. Just the biggest waste of a first or second round pick in year 1 in the NFL. Totally invisible. And when he was visible, he was hurting your team. Well, Elliott Wolf's got an excuse for that too. He says, I think organizationally we put a little too much on his plate year 1. We've talked with that about him. We're at a good spot with it. Because again, the only time Elliott Wolf talks to the media is when he's throwing someone else under the bus. And once again, it comes with the coaching staff that he helped hire. He helped hire this coaching staff last year. He was right in there with the interview process and the hiring process of hiring Gerard Mayo and Tyquan Underwood to be the receivers coach and all these schmoes who made up the 2024 New England Patriots coaching staff. He was in on that. And now he's saying, yeah, they put too much on his plate. Really? Did they put too much on his plate? He was targeted 30 times this year. How is that putting too much on the plate of the guy who was picked 33rd in the draft? I don't understand that. I think that's babying. And Mike Vrabel came in here in his introductory press conference and talked about how they needed accountability. They needed to get the holier than thou attitude out of there. And it clearly sounded like he was talking about the players, and which Jalen Polk might fit into that as well. But maybe it should be directed towards the GM as well, Elliott Wolf. Because I don't think I watched every second of every Patriots game this year. Never once did I think, oh, poor Jalen Polk, man. They're just putting too much on his plate. Most of the time, I was thinking, wow, hit him right in the hands. Catch the fucking football. That's mostly what I was thinking. But hey, maybe that's why I'm not the GM. Anyway, a guy who is not the GM of the Red Sox is Tony Maz, which is great because number 1 prospect in baseball, not on his watch. He's already calling Roman Anthony a bust. We'll explain how, if that's even possible, next on the Cam Show.
Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internix. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit Internix.com today and take control of your digital life. That's INTERNXT.com today. Elevate your experience with Grenco Science, the leaders in cutting-edge vaporizers. Whether you're at home or on the go, our sleek, powerful devices deliver smooth, consistent hits every time. Quality you can trust, innovation you can feel. Grenco Science, take your vapor game to the next level. Visit us at GrencoScience.com. At Terrapin Ridge Farms, they believe in the joy of effortless entertaining. Inspired by CEO Mary O'Donnell's mom and her legendary holiday parties, they've crafted a line of gourmet foods that turn any meal into a celebration. From savory jams to mustards, aiolis, and more, their products are made with love, bringing unforgettable flavors to your table. Whether it's a casual get-together or a special occasion, they make it easy to impress. Terrapin Ridge Farms, where great food and great memories come together. Visit them at terrapinridge.com. Terrapin Ridge.
Do you ever have a story that you just can't get out of your head?
One that you play the details of over and over with your friends?
Well, you've come to the right place. I'm Claire.
And I'm Susan.
And this is Justice Pending,
a weekly true crime podcast where we discuss tantalizing crimes with more questions than answers.
Thanks for joining us.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Combine that with OrganicHemp.com's top quality CBD for ultimate balance. Start your healing journey today at GlobalHealing.com and OrganicHemp.com.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
It all began with a simple idea, cutting handles off old ski sticks to create better pull-up bars. This sparked the creation of the revolutionary Angles 90 handles. After testing over 70 prototypes with 300 athletes, our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit angles90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Ready to bring your vision to life? At Small Rig, every idea, design, and product is inspired by you, the creator. With our industry-first under co-design mode and the Dream Rig free customization project, we unite with global creators to turn big dreams into reality. Whether it's a cage rig or mount, Small Rig's versatile gear is built to elevate your craft. Small Rig, where your creativity meets our innovation. Go to smallrig.com.
Unlock a world of convenience with Mully Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. Each box is tailored to your taste. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com.
Welcome back to the Cam Show on Rogue Media Sports Network. It's Friday. It's Cam Stewart hosting. That's me. Zach Burke keeping us on the air. That's Zach. Keeps us on the air every day and does a damn good job doing it, man. I must say. And we had a great Gene Hackman talk yesterday. And, of course, we will be on top of the Gene Hackman news as it comes in. Justice Pending is the name of Claire St. Amont's podcast, as you saw in the commercial break, if you were around for that. But I talked about it earlier. Couldn't remember the name. Justice Pending is the name, if you're in true crime and all that stuff. So we got to get her on, maybe talk some Gene Hackman. That would be great. Because I don't know how often the sports and true crime world will collide. It does happen. It does happen. Anyway, yesterday we talked all about this trio of Red Sox prospects that are the best in a generation, as Jeff Passan called them, including being highlighted by Roman Anthony, the number one prospect in all of baseball. Now, Roman Anthony, being the consensus number one prospect in all of baseball, has gotten plenty of hype going into this camp for the Boston Red Sox, and obviously is a part of this trio that Jeff Passan called the best in hitting trio of prospects in a generation. Well, why would we trust Jeff Passan and every major league scout and Baseball America and everyone who follows the sport every day? And why wouldn't we just trust Tony Maserati? Because on Felger and Maz yesterday, I mean, Tony just did his best Reggie Lewis impression and was looking for one person to say what he was hoping they would say. Everyone else thinks he's the best prospect in baseball. Tony Maserati, he thinks he's a bust.
Particularly crawled up your ass this afternoon.
Okay, so I was scouring the internet. Is that the right word?
Yep.
To find scouting reports on Roman Anthony. Mm-hmm. And I came across one that said Anthony should become an above-average outfielder. What do you mean should? What does should mean? Should tells me that he's not good and that he's got to grow into it. This is the guy who's regarded as the number one prospect in the game. How is a guy the number one prospect in the game if his defense sucks? Because that's how I read that. And after watching him play the outfield, he doesn't exactly read the ball off the bat like Ken Griffey Jr. He doesn't. So here's what I want to know. How come nobody ever tells me about the bad stuff? Why do I have to go looking for it? And why, in God's name, do I have to do my own scouting?
Because covering sports in this town has become one big circle session.
That is so annoying to me that nobody anywhere Roman Anthony. Wait till Roman Anthony gets here. Yeah, you're going to love this kid. He's awesome. He's the number one prospect in baseball. Roman Anthony, he can do it all. Except he can't. And you know what I think he is right now? If you were to ask me what he projects to be? A DH? How do I get excited about a prospect who's a DH?
I swear to fuck. If you watch too much of that show, I think you'll get brain damage and you'll be entitled to financial compensation. Like, this is the ultimate fucking stretch. Like, This is the ultimate, like he's admitting it to you basically by saying, I'm going to be a contrarian strictly for contrarian's sake. And what I can't believe is Tony Maz covered the Red Sox for years, like 15 years. He covered the team as a beat writer, day in, day out. He should know baseball. But instead, he's just coming up with this crap. And clearly so far removed from his writing days because he doesn't know what the word scour means. He doesn't know what the word should means. And he doesn't know that when you talk about prospects, you say he should become this because newsflash, Tony, he hasn't become that yet. Congrats. You nailed it. The 20-year-old who has not played a single game in the major leagues is not Hall of Famer Ken Griffey Jr. Fucking congrats, you fucking idiot. Like, are you kidding me? How do we even go past the fact that he's 20 years old? He's 20. He can't even fucking buy a drink in Fort Myers. And you're already considering him a DH and a bust. Because you went down this rabbit hole. You went through every scouting report that you could find just to find one that maybe had one throwaway sentence of, he might not be an elite outfielder. And you turn that into, he's not going to do anything in this league. He sucks. You think he can do it all? He can't. No, we don't think he can do it all. We don't think that because he's 20 years old and he has not made the major league roster yet. He was playing high school baseball 3 years ago. Nobody's saying he can do it all. He's the number one prospect because he projects to be the best player in the major leagues that's in the minor leagues right now. I can't fucking believe we have to spell that out for Tony Maserati, who has been on the highest rated Boston sports radio show of the last 6-7 years. He's no fucking Kirk Minahan. I'll give him that. Are you kidding me, dude? Are you kidding me with that? And by the way, I have scoured the internet. I do know what that word means, Tony. Scoured. You had it right. You need Felger to lean on because you need Felger to tell you anything that's right or wrong. You need Felger's approval of anything. Yeah, I scoured the internet too. I watched. There we go. Maybe I am Mass. I read about 10 or 15 of these scouting reports over the last 2 days. I don't know where he's finding this one that says he I mean, most of them say should because that's what the language is. I don't know what one he found that says Roman Anthony's not going to be a good player. I have not found it yet. In fact, what I'm seeing is, elite 5-star or 5-tool player. I'm seeing great swing for MLB. I'm seeing a lefty who hits lefty better than righties. His power is incredible. 450-foot home run in the prospects game in Colorado. The All-American game in Colorado. All I'm seeing is that. In fact, from MLB, which I don't know, maybe they know a thing or two about this. Maybe. They talk about first off, let's do his stats. He led AA Eastern League in slugging, which is 489, OPS 856. And as a 20-year-old last season, / 344, 463, 519 with 16 extra base hits in 35 games following his promotion to AAA. Anthony's advanced swing decisions, quick stroke, and growing strength allow him to make more consistent contact and generate higher exit velocities than most players his age. He could become, he could become a 300 hitter who provides 30 homers and ranks among the league leaders in walks on an annual basis. Or another scouting report that says scouts love Anthony's plate patience, quick, smooth swing, and high exit velocity it produces. They figure that as the 6'2 left-handed hitter fills out, because he's 20 years old, he will be a 300 hitter with 30-plus home run potential. So I don't know where Maz is finding these scouting reports, but this is the illness. This is the sickness of contrarian for contrarian's sake. And to the 98.5, the Sports Hub world, that gets translated to everyone's sucking each other off. Everyone's just a circle jerk session because they say the number one prospect in baseball is going to be a good player. Like that's the fucking brain rot that we have right now. They think the brain rot is listening to these people say how good this good player is, but really the brain rot is the guys who do it on Twitter are perfect. He sucks, Mike. I watched one spring training game and he didn't take a good route to one fly ball in spring training game as a 20-year-old. He sucks. He's not going to be anything. Like, fire these guys into the fucking sun. We all want sports talk radio that is not going to suck off the players or the coaches. We all want that. But to just be contrarian for the sake of being a contrarian, it's fucking getting old, man. The glory days of Boston sports talk radio are gone because there's none of that in between. Because you have, these people there, and there are people on the radio that suck off the players too much, but more prescient in the Boston sports talk landscape are these people who just have to go against you, have to go contrarian for contrarian's sake. I mean, it got so old. We listened to it for like 10 years of Felger just pointing out everything that would make the Patriots bad and everything they were doing wrong when they were literally the greatest dynasty in the history of sports. And now you won't hear him say that. He'll talk about how great the dynasty was because it's over. But like, this is where we're losing our fucking minds here. He's the number one prospect in baseball, according to every outlet. He's not taken a single swing in the major leagues yet. And he's 20 years old. He's 20. And Maz is like, he sucks. He's a DH. He's a bust. Like, get a grip, guys. Is it so bad that they're going to have a good player, that the GM that you just dragged through the mud for 5 years actually made a good decision at pick number 79? No, we can't have those nice things. We need something to be mad at the Red Sox about. And I got news for you. There's plenty of other things you can still be mad at the Red Sox about. But this is just being contrarian to be a dickhead. Oh, and speaking of that, do you remember a few weeks ago when their tool bag of the day was Tristan Casas? Why did they call him a tool bag? For, amongst other things, saying that these trio of prospects that are going to be the future of this team should not make the opening day roster. They called him a tool bag for that, but now they're saying Roman Anthony sucks and that everyone's blowing him. Yeah, the Boston sports media should really fucking rail this kid for being the number one prospect in baseball. And why do I have to go and find it? You know why you have to go and find the negative things about him, Tony? Because nobody is writing it. You're making it up. None of the scouting reports say that, man. God, if you want to do this, if you want to say how bad a team is at eyeing talent and how they're overblowing guys, talk about the goddamn Patriots. You don't have to talk about the Red Sox for this one. It's just so tiring, man. It's so tiring. Even when they do a good thing, they can't do a good thing. And this is a guy who was paid by the Red Sox 2 years ago, by the way, to do Nesson games. That's being paid by the Red Sox. And trying desperately to get on the inside with Linda Pizzuti. Little does he know he's texting Kirk Minahan, fucking dolt. This is just searching far and wide to get one tiny, minuscule part of an answer that you want to run with and say that this guy sucks. Someone sucks in this discussion between Maz and Felger and Roman Anthony. And I think the guy who sucks the least is Roman Anthony. Number one prospect in baseball. Where are you going to rank him, Tony? You going to put him 50th now because he doesn't look like Ken Griffey Jr. when he's 20 years old? Fucking morons, man. I can't stand this shit. Ugh. And if you can't stand it either, why don't you just join us at high noon Eastern time live on YouTube every day to rail against this kind of shit? And then wherever you get your podcasts. Have a good fucking weekend. We'll see you on Monday on The Cam Show.
Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co today. That's HINOMI.co today. Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internix. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit internx.com today and take control of your digital life. That's internxt.com today. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com. Tusains, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit Tusains.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.